Okay, well, I have to say, this has got to be the most powerful, easy, direct and clean, impromptu, any card, any number type of effects I have on my channel yet. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you can use this. Now, all you need are 2 borrowed decks of cards. Now, obviously, you're not likely going to borrow a larger deck of playing cards like I have here. I'm just using this for the video for some visual contrast to separate the 2 decks, which I thought would be just kind of fun. Obviously, you could just use 2 different colored decks, but it doesn't really matter. So, what you're going to do is have the spectators shuffle both decks of cards as much as they like, and when they're satisfied that both decks of cards are well mixed, you have the spectator just choose what deck of cards they'd like to set aside. So let's say they set aside this deck, and the remaining deck just gets spread out in front of them on the table. Now, you emphasize to the spectator that you're just going to glance at their shuffled deck. You're not tampering with the order of their shuffled cards at all. You're just going to glance at their cards to come up with a prediction. So if you could just bear with me for one moment, and I'm going to try to come up with a prediction. Let's see. Okay, I think I've got one. So I'll set that down here for a moment. I'll grab the other deck, and I'll try to separate them at a precise spot to hopefully make this prediction work out. Just bear with me for a moment. Okay, I think right there would be good. Alright, we'll set that to the side again. Now, the spectator takes their shuffled deck of cards in their own hands, and they are to just deal the cards onto the table, as many cards as they like, and to stop whenever they get the urge to stop dealing the cards. So let's say they stop here. They're then to just deal their random amount of cards onto the table into 4 piles until they run out of cards. Once they've dealt all the cards, we're simply going to pull off the 4 random cards sitting on the top of each pile, and we're going to set them just aside over here. Now what we're going to do is just gather up all the cards and have the spectator take the remaining cards and to cut the deck anywhere they wish. They can cut anywhere they want, and we're just going to grab the other half or the other portion and mark the cut just like so. Now we're going to look at the random 4 cards. Let's just set this aside. We're going to look at the random 4 cards they arrived at, and we're going to add the total of the values of each of these 4 cards. So we have 16 plus 5 gives us 21 plus 7, 28. Now, let's look at the card they cut at. So we're going to move the upper portion, look at the card they cut at. The spectator themselves can pick up the card. You see we have the Queen of Diamonds. So our total was, again, sorry I can't remember, it was what, 28, okay? So 28, now would that not be amazing if the Queen of Diamonds, the card they've cut at their shuffled deck, and the 4 cards they arrived at their random amount of cards they dealt to, would that not be amazing that the Queen of Diamonds was the 28th card, the total values in that prediction deck? Let's see if that's correct. So, 28th card, the Queen of Diamonds. Let's see if this is true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and is the 28th card, the Queen of Diamonds. And there you have it. So that's that. That's how direct and simple the any card, any number effect is. I just love this trick, being that it's impromptu, no setup involved, no gimmicks. Now, how this is done. All you need to do is, once both decks are mixed, again, we'll use this as our prediction deck. When you spread out the cards, you're spreading out the cards, and then you emphasize to the spectator that you're not tampering with the order. You want to make that clear, that you're leaving the cards how they shuffled them. You're just glancing to come up with a prediction. Now, the reason you're spreading them out not only shows your spectator the true mix of the cards, but it gives you an opportunity to secretly look at the top 5 cards in the spread on the leftmost side. So the top 5 cards, what you're going to look at is the 5th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5th card here, you're going to remember as the selected card that you're going to end up forcing. Okay, so you're going to remember the 10 of clubs. Now you won't have to remember this for too long. You just need it to set up your prediction deck. So you're remembering the 10 of clubs, the 5th card is their selection, and the top 4 cards will actually be the cards, the random 4 that they're going to arrive at for the total number for the selected card to be located in the prediction deck. So all you have to do is quickly, as fast as you can, don't make it obvious that you're looking at the top of the, at the leftmost part of the spread. Look down if you have to, not showing them your eyes. You're just kind of, you could use your hand to kind of play like you're scanning the cards or whatever. But meanwhile, you're looking and you're calculating the total of the top 4 cards and remembering the selected card. That's all you have to do. Once you have the total number of those top 4 cards and the selected card in your mind, you can square it up, go to the prediction deck, and immediately look for the 10 of clubs. As soon as you find the 10 of clubs, which happens to be up top, okay, that's fine. As soon as you find it, start your count for your number. So counting with the selected card first is 1, and then 2, and then go back and continue counting to the bottom of the deck if you have to. Sometimes you won't even have to go to the bottom of the deck. You just go with your count and end up at your total number somewhere else in the deck. But you're just counting 1 from your selected card all the way to your total. Wherever you arrive at your total, you're simply going to cut the cards at that number and complete the cut just like that. And all you're doing, of course, is just setting up the selected card to the total 4 cards in the deck. That's all you're doing. Very, very simple. So you're just looking for the selected card, count starting 1 at the selected card up to the total. If you have to continue to the bottom of the deck to continue counting, then do that, and then wherever you end up, cut the cards so that the selected card, or the card that you're going to be forcing, the 5th card from the top, will be located right at that number of the total of the 4 cards. Okay? Make sense? Okay, so that's your prediction. They have no idea what you're doing yet. You then have the spectator. They can deal down. You notice these 5 cards get dealt down first, but they don't know what's going on, of course. You have them deal as many cards as they like. They stop anywhere they wish. You then have them deal 4 piles. Now, when they deal the 4 piles and finish dealing the cards, all you have to look for is where their last card is dealt. Remember the pile where they last dealt their card, because that's the pile that you're going to put on top of the deck, on top of the rest of the cards. It's very important, because that's where their selected card is going to be. Now, the 4 top cards are actually the cards that were on the original top of the deck, and they end up on top of each pile. But the spectator thinks, of course, that they just arrived at random cards in the deck. They have no idea that these are the original top 4 cards. So those are the top 4 forced cards that get set aside. You're remembering the pile that they dealt on last, so you make sure that's put on last. So you just gather up all the other piles, and that pile last. That sets up the selected card, which is actually the next card sitting on top of the deck. Now, you're going to go into what's called the cross cut, or the cut cross force. I don't know, sorry, I can't remember, I didn't say it right. But anyways, the cross cut force, I believe. So they cut anywhere they wish. It doesn't matter where they cut. You pick up the bottom portion they cut from and cross it over to mark the cut. You just say you're marking the cut. Now, there's a great misdirection and distraction that happens here when you flip over these cards to have them add up the total. Once they've figured out the total, you can come back here and they have no idea that this is the original top card. They will really believe that that's where they cut to. It's just how it works. This will never fail you. Unless, of course, they're seasoned magicians that you're performing to and they know the crisscross force. It's not going to work, but, you'll fool everyone else and this will blow them away. So they look at their selected card, which they believe they've cut to. You've got your number, and of course, the rest is, makes sense. They just deal down to their selected card, and that's that. Should blow them away. So, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you can really use this effect, please thumb up, and thank you for watching.